That sounds awesome. Can I keep playing?
Well, hello there. My name is HW.
I'm the Sooze. Hey,
Sooze. Today I want to use liquid profiling irresponsibly.
Of course you would.
I think it's time.
Makes sense.
I think it's time to get away. So this is the Tweed DMBLuxe. This is an amp made by a builder who makes dumble things and is very into it.
Okay.
And this is sort of there's all of these like dumble mods, like Tweedledee mods that go around, and you see people modding. Here's the thing: we got a profile and we like it. And it sounds good. And there's no actual liquid models that match this thing. I'm going to go to a Fender Tweed Bassman. Now, to a discerning ear, it sounds the same.
Yeah, similar for sure.
Because it shouldn't have changed.
Yeah.
We haven't changed anything. All we've done is change what the tone stack and gain control will do when we change it. First of all, let's clean it up. Let's see what that bright cap does. Let's clean it up to like this. And then also, let's, I don't know, you want to scoop it or something? There's a lot of mid-range. Could we make it scoopy? I don't know how this will sound. I haven't heard it. Let's try it. I mean, we're sitting right here. This cab's here. It sounds good to me.
Totally different.
It definitely sounds good and very different. I'm going to bring that bright cap down, and it'll probably be less present. You try that. I mean, it sounds like a sufficiently different amp to me.
Yeah.
Let's, I'm going to leave that. So we're cutting some mid-range.
Okay.
Adding a couple other things and reducing the bass of reducing the gain of a dirty profile to a cleaner one. And now we can hear the difference of these tone stacks. So now I'm going to go from a Fender Bandmaster, and I'm going to say, well, it's not a Fender Bassman. So I'm going to take that off, and I'm going to say we'll just go to another amp that it's not. It's not a twin reverb bright, but what if it was?
Irresponsible.
Irresponsible. Who knows what's going to happen? Try the neck, see how clean we can make this thing. What do you even need more than one profile for? You seem to be able to get it into. You seem to be able to get it to be something completely different.
Okay, so I was thinking while I was playing, is this? But I think this is wrong. This is not this amp into another cabinet, another cabinet. This is like as if they had that tone stack.
It's as if it had the gain control and the bright cap and the tone stack from a twin reverb.
A different amp altogether.
Sure.
So the power section would still be the same amp that you profiled, I guess?
Yep. Same mic, same speaker, same preamp tube, same power amp tube, right?
So it goes to show you that type of stuff, if you believe this is accurate, like that really does change how an amp sounds and functions. I mean, it's like, we've talked a lot about before how cabinets change that a ton.
Sure.
It is cool. I mean, like we've said before about the liquid stuff, this is another way of tweaking your profile without endlessly searching through new profiles,
Completely. I mean, I think there's magic to find in here, possibly.
Yeah.
Okay, something completely different.
I kind of want to hear a Vox on there, but is that too irresponsible?
I mean, AC 15 or AC 30?
15.
I feel like the 30 would be more irresponsible, but I'm going to go with the 15.
Safe.
And I'm going to put that bright cap all the way up.
Yeah.
And so now we're going to let's hear it dirty, and then let's see how it cleans up and how that bright cap affects. Again, there is no mid now. So that dumping of the mid-range is now no longer going to be in there. There's no control to dump.
Does it go back to flat, you think?
It'll go to default.
Okay.
Yeah, there won't be a value.
You can't change it.
There's no control to do anything.
Okay.
Now there's a treble that we're boosting, a bass that we're boosting. The cut is up a little bit.
So it's darker. Right?
Actually, I think yes. Go ahead. You'd play, and I'll play around with it.
That sounds awesome. Can I keep playing? Heck yeah.
Dude, there's a real case to be made that if you like what an EQ does, you should maybe just try it on anything you like. If you boost the bass, right? And look, there's no mid-range. So how are we going to get more mid-range? Let me boost this bass up. And you keep playing that. So, I mean, I would say there's a case to be made that if you like the way an EQ does something, especially a Vox, then maybe you just try it on anything you like, because it might give you more of what you like.
It kind of sounds to me too, like, this is not exactly, but if I had this amp in front of me and I got like a Vox pedal, like a Vox in a box pedal, and put it into that, now it's imparting some Voxy. It might have a cut knob on the pedal. It might have. I'm getting a Voxy sound out of a Marshall or a Fender Twin or something. It's not exactly, but that's kind of how it feels. As soon as you flip that over, I was like, something Voxy just got.
Yeah. So I think conceptually, it's the fact that the EQs on an amp make a difference. And really quick, in case people are hung up on why they make a difference,
right?
Because they might go, "Oh, that Jim Lowe video proves that it doesn't make a difference." It doesn't prove that. Because I'll explain. If you have two settings on an amp, and you have Vox in it, Deluxe, which is in that video, right? And you find a setting in which the EQs are the flattest. They're doing nothing, right? So where's the neutral spot where the EQ is just letting the signal pass through?
Right.
In both of those cases, the EQs are high and low pass filters. So where are they not high and low passing?
Yeah.
Where is nothing being cut? Okay, now what you've done is you've removed the color of those EQs. And now you can listen to the amp, which is in that video, and you hear how similar they sound. Okay, but here's the problem. The neutral setting of those amps, as demonstrated in the video, are settings you've never set your amp to.
Right.
You never set it all to 0. You never set the middle to 10 and all the other knobs. You never set all the knobs to 10 and the middle to 0. You never do that. You never do whatever the settings are. Which means that every time you've heard a Deluxe and they're not at those settings, those high and low cuts, whatever the values of the pots are actually imparting something. So what that means is, like, it might not be the thing that makes it sound like the amp. It might not be that if I take an EQ out of one amp, put it in another, or I remove the EQ completely, or put the same EQ in an amp, that will completely change it, which you can also see here. Leaving the EQ the same, just changing the values, doesn't change the sound of the amp.
Right.
But once I start to impart something that's not neutral, once I use the cut to cut a bunch of stuff, and then I switch over to something that doesn't even have a cut, right? If you have the cut way boosted up to make something high on a Vox, and then you can't do that on another amp. So any value you have it at must be a part, unless it's neutral, which I believe neutral is all the way open. I don't know. I think other amps would just have filtering that would.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So what's the point? The point is, like, the EQs make a difference only to the effect that you are using them, that they begin to change the EQ curve into something that you believe sounds like a Vox. So if you run your Vox with the EQ set a certain way, like a lot of people do, which is turn up the treble, turn up the bass, and bring the cut down a little bit, right? If you do that, which on a Vox will be bright, mid-rangey, but then you're taming some of the bright presence. If you do that, you are then associating that EQ curve with the quote-unquote Voxy sound. So if you take that same EQ curve and put it on anything,
you'll get a Voxy
you'll go,
sound.
hey, that's a Voxy sound. But what is the Voxy sound? You know?
Yeah, there's so many parts of it.
Yeah, and the Voxy sound is different when it's through a blue or through a greenback. There's still something about it that's similar, but they're not the same sound. And it's different when it's an AC10 or an AC15 or an AC30, but you might still describe all those as Voxy.
Yeah.
And Brian May is Voxy, and the Edge is Voxy.
Right.
But only so much as there's some character that you hear and associate with a Vox, and then you put that same character on something else, does it become
totally
that? You know what I'm saying?
So what was your favorite sound on this? Was it generic? Was it
probably that bassman? Because all of a sudden the amp sounded big and huge because I boosted the bass.
Okay.
Now, by the way, on a Tweed DeLuxe, there is no bass. There's normal channel, bright channel. You could jumper the channels together if you want. There's just 2 volumes, and there's a tone knob. So if I have that amp and I want to make it more bassy, now what the Tweed DeLuxe amp is the Hotel California solo amp. It's that singing mid-rangey lead sound.
Yeah.
If you want to know what the amp sounds like, that's what it sounds like. Listen to Hotel California. But if you want to add some bass to it, all of a sudden it starts to sound like a bigger amp, maybe like a bigger Tweed. Okay. But that's true of the Deluxe Reverb as well. You know, it has a mid-range focus.
Yeah.
In that Fender vibe
world,
for that sort of category of amp. It has a mid-range focus. And if you're able to scoop that mid-range out and bring up the bass and treble, it starts to sound like, hey, maybe this is one of the other amps that are more scooped and that stuff.
So are you telling everyone to be irresponsible?
I'm telling everyone, drink responsibly.
Right.
But don't...
Liquid profile response.
Yes, this is a liquid we no longer need to be
my
responsible.
takeaway today is I'm going to try that AC15 on like all
everything.
Everything. I just like that.
Yeah, everything. It'll sound good on everything. I mean, it just will. Here we'll try the AC30.
Yeah.
Because whoops, we'll try the AC30 because why not? And here's the top boost AC30. I have the bright cap up. Oh, and we didn't do this. Let's clean it up. Let's see how that bright cap comes into play when we clean it up. So I've changed nothing. So I don't know if I'm assuming that the behavior of these controls is slightly different, or they would not have modeled 2 of them.
Yeah. Right.
So now here's the AC30, same settings.
Fan.
Great.
Super cool.
Love it. I'm going to clean it way up. And it's going to sound now clean like this.
That's so weird. It's like
I know,
so Voxy. Like
so
in my
Voxy
mind,
now, right?
We just discussed.
But also that bright cap is whatever value the bright cap adds high end, because we all probably use the top boost channel. And so we're used to that on the cleaner Vox.
Yeah.
And so now we're hearing that character and going, it's Voxy. But I could, of course, try to cut some of that out and make it warm. And sounds like this.
That's super cool. I love that. I just love a cut knob. Maybe that's part of my own bias.
All amps should have a cut knob.
Yeah. Yep.